Dadaji, what is the difference between the Ananda Sutrams of Guru Anandamurti and the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali?
Well, Patanjali was born long time ago, and at that time he codified the yogic philosophy into Ashtanga Yoga, into Eightfold Path, and it is known as Raj Yoga. That is actually, Patanjali Yoga Sutras is a treatise on Raj Yoga, because it's about yoga psychology. What is mind and how to control this mind, and what are the different states which we go through, in different, as we grow spiritually. So it's a very important treatise and very important book in the field of yoga. But Anandamurtiji has taken it many steps further by not only talking about yoga psychology, but rather putting it within the framework of cosmology, of what is this whole creation and what is the role of mind in this whole creation. So the first chapter, for example, of Ananda Sutram deals with the creation of the universe. And there is another chapter which deals with, the different levels of the mind. There's another chapter which deals with, the Tantra, with the Kulu Kundalini, the divine force, the energy which lies, in the sleeping state in Muladhara Chakra. So he has explained those very deep yogic, tantric, philosophical concepts in the form of those aphorisms. Just like Patanjali uses the aphorisms, they are called sutra. Sutra means like a thread, which links up. So their sutras are very simple aphorisms, but they were originally given in Sanskrit, and but they are only the axioms. They are the seeds of the whole philosophy. So Ananda Sutram is the magnum opus. It is like the source of Anandamarga philosophy. And most important of all, Ananda Sutram contains, the last chapter of Ananda Sutram is about society, how to build a universal society. And he introduces a completely new socio-economic philosophy called PRAUT, Pragatishil Upayogi Tattva, or Progressive Utilization Theory, which no spiritualists, because mostly up till now the spiritualists have been talking about God, but they did not talk about how to bring God into society, how to create a God-centered civilization. And what happened was that the whole society has turned into a matter-centered or dogma-centered or self-centered society. So how can yoga become a part of our life in such a way that we lead, we function in a society which is guided by moral and spiritual and higher principles. So in that way, Ananda Sutram's scope is much bigger, because it, and I think it's more real, because you cannot separate the individual from society. So society should help the individual, and individual should help the society. We cannot separate the needs of the individual and needs of society, because society is a conglomeration of all individuals. Not only human beings, but also, as I mentioned earlier, plants and animals and all the living beings and all the animate and inanimate things in this world. So, and Ananda Sutram is a complete philosophy of life, presented in the form of sutras. And I'll give you a sample. For example, the first sutra is Shiva Shaktyatmakam Brahma. That means that the Supreme Consciousness is a composite of cognitive faculty and energy. That means energy and the cognition together create consciousness. So it's a very fundamental idea. What is Supreme Consciousness? Shiva Shaktyatmakam Brahma. Brahma is consciousness, Shiva is cognition or pure, and Shakti is energy. So energy is a blind force, but Shiva or cognition is not blind. Cognition guides. There is vivek, there is discrimination. If the child puts hand in the fire, fire will burn. If an old man puts hand in the fire, fire will burn. If a very beautiful woman will put hand in the fire, fire will not say, oh, I should spare this woman because she is so beautiful. It will also burn. That is the nature of energy. But cognition is not like that. Cognition, the relationship between the creation and the creator is like father and son, like mother and daughter, like father and children. It's a family relationship. So that's why, you know, through the sutras, very fundamental, complex issues of society, the riddles of human life, including fate, whether there is free will, what happens after death, what happens, you know, when we are born, or, you know, how evolution takes place, what is the flow of the mind, where it is leading us. All these things are answered through these axioms called sutras. And the last sutra, I told you about the first sutra, which was Shiva Shakti Atmaka Brahma. The last sutra is that what has been propounded, Pragatishil Upayogi Tattvam, Pragatishil Upayogi Tattvam Vidam Sarvajan Hitartham, Sarvajan Sukhartham Pracharitam. That means that we have to establish these principles of progressive utilization not only for the benefit of few or the majority. Like in democracy we say, oh, if it is majority, their rule should prevail. No, it should be for the welfare of all. Sarvajan Sukhai means that which brings peace and prosperity to all, not only to one group or to the other group, but to the entire creation. So our thinking has to be very broad. That means whatever we do it with the idea it should help me, but it should not go against the interest of the rest of creation. And what is good for the individual should be good for society. What is good for society should be good for the individual. So it's for the welfare of all and not only for the majority. So there are many subtle things which are present in these sutras, and it is a whole lifetime's research to be able to fully grasp the depth of these sutras. But definitely, you know, so it's something very special for the human society that Anandamurtiji gave this Ananda Sutra. And we hope that in time, you know, people will study them and learn them and also share them, you know, put them in practice in their lives.
Thank you.